Vaginal steaming or Yoni steaming, depends on what you want to call it, have been happening around the world for centuries. Unfortunately, in the West, it is a practice that we have not engaged with, or at least not kept as part of our culture. And I'm here to change that, fingers crossed. So in Mayan culture, they did these, they've been recorded. They used to call them bajos, I believe. Excuse my description there. They're also called a veggie steam, and through Asia and also South America, there are vaginal steaming bars that you can go to. So just as you would go into a spa and get your nails done, you can go and have a steam. You can sit on steaming chairs together with your friends, have a chat whilst you have a lovely vaginal steam. So who knows, that might be in the future over here. So what is it? It is exactly what it says. It is steaming your vagina. Now we do this with obviously hot water and a lovely dried herbs, which I'll get into a little bit later on. How do we do one? You shout. I hear you question. So what are you going to need? You're going to need some herbs. So you can make these up yourself. So if you are a herbalist or if you grow your own herbs and dry them, fabulous. Easiest thing to do is buy a pack. Just going for nice organic Yoni steaming blend. There is the Yoni Steam website that you can go to, also off Amazon. As with everything, you can get a pack already made for you, particularly if this is your first time and you're just going to want to try it out. Just get a lovely pack for yourself. Then you're going to want a bowl to sit over. Now, this could be quite a shallow bowl, I would say, for these purposes. You can get Yoni steamers that you can sit on. They look a little bit like a bedpan, which is just lovely. They're very expensive and absolutely not worth the money. You can also get dishes that sit in the toilet, so you can sit on the toilet. It's not something that I would go for, but if you really love your bathroom, why not? But I would just stick with a little dish that you can sit over, not on. How are you going to sit over the dish? Now, this is going to be really personal to you. What I would suggest is either kneeling on some cushions and then leaning on a surface in front of you. But if we're doing this for about 30 minutes, that might not be for everybody. Another option is to get 2 stools or 2 dining room chairs, sit a butt cheek on either one, and the bowl underneath so that the steam goes up. So you've got loads of options. One thing I am playing with as well is using yoga blocks. So much like the chairs, you can sit on 2 blocks and have the dish underneath as well. So see how that feels. It's entirely up to you, whatever your body feels best in. It might take a couple of goes to test this out. So you're going to want your bowl, your herbs, and somewhere to sit. Now, who is vaginal steaming for? If you're trying to get pregnant, this is wonderful for you. There are a few caveats, so we'll go through those in a minute. If you are experiencing a lot of pain during your periods, 100% for you as well. If you've got fibroids, endometriosis, any kind of period issues, particularly that contain pain, this is going to be for you. When are we not going to be Yoni steaming? Not during your period, kind of makes sense. If you have really heavy periods, and I'm talking super, super heavy, or really long heavy periods. Now you might have a long period, but actually they're not very heavy, so that's fine. But if you're having gushing big flows, this is probably not for you at the moment until we get that under control. If you have an IUD, a coil, avoid. If you've got any vaginal infections, or if you are prone to vaginal infections, again, probably best that you stay away from this for the moment. So let's talk fertility. If you are trying to get pregnant, if you're preparing to get pregnant and you aren't trying at the moment, then you're going to be wanting to do a Yoni steam 5 days before your period. If you're actively trying to get pregnant, we're going to want to avoid that part of your cycle. So after you have ovulated and before your period, no steaming. You're going to want to steam maybe a couple of days after your period ends. So maybe give it 2 to 3 days after it's ended, and then you can do your Yoni steam. So there's a little bit of balance here depending on where you are in your fertility journey. If you're going for IVF, obviously nothing after implantation. Before you're going for egg harvesting, or if you're at the very, very beginning of your journey of IVF, then obviously we can Yoni steam to balance everything out there. So yeah, you finding what's best for you here. So we know when we want to steam. If we're not on the fertility journey, this can be anytime you want. 5 days before your period is great, because then it is really quite close to when you're going to be bleeding, which is really where we want the blood flowing, we want the energy moving, we want to be able for our period to be lovely and full and detoxing, getting rid of anything that we don't need, essentially. So, but again, it's diary balance, isn't it? Do it when feels right for you. So we're ready. We've got our herbs, we've got our bowl, we know our comfortable position. So we're going to pop those herbs into the bowl of hot water. We're going to position ourselves over the hot water comfortably and safely, may I add, and then wrap yourself with a towel or a nice big blanket so that the steam is coming up and it's seeping up into the vagina. Enjoy, relax, 30 minutes if you can is perfect. Every 2 to 3 months, schedule this in, have a nice relax, put some meditation music on, or listen to something really lovely, maybe not watching TV. Let's really immerse ourselves into this self-care practice. And there you go. In terms of dried herbs that you are looking for, like I said, you can buy the blends, which is great, and you're going to be wanting to look for things like basil, rosemary, lavender, rose petals, mugwort as well. Absolutely brilliant for relaxation, balancing the parasympathetic nervous system, increasing vitality as well. So also oregano. Who knew that really helps with light periods? So that's what we're kind of looking for. This one I have here has lavender, marigold, lemon balm. Lemon is also really great for detoxing. Rosemary, sage leaf. Sage is brilliant for hot flashes. Raspberry, chamomile, and mugwort. So really nice, interesting blend there. I'm going to try that later. So those are the kind of things that you're looking for. Going for dried herbs, we're not going for essential oils. We don't essential oil steam vaginas. We stick with the dried herbs. As with everything that I suggest, I'm not a medical trained doctor. Please, if you have any concerns or would like to check with your GP or your medical practitioner, please do so before you try any of these. Thanks.